Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. Now I want to talk about Cardano and Charles Hoskinson. He lied about his college degree. Now this definitely affects the credibility of IOHK and could impact Cardano in the future. Now, if you actually look at Cardano's price, it hasn't really been affected at all by this stuff on Reddit. And if you look at DeFi Llama, people are still locking plenty of value in Cardano. It's gone up to 216 million, still growing, although a little slowly. Now, the good thing about these DeFi protocols on Cardano is that these DeFi protocols on Cardano aren't actually run by Charles Hoskinson. But the thing is, lying about the college degree definitely puts a negative look on you and perhaps Cardano overall. Luckily, most of the Cardano developers are not Charles Hoskinson, and they have plenty of developers over around the world. But the thing is, let's get this straight. I really don't care if you have a college degree or not, but the fact that you lied about it is just stupid. I myself have a college degree, but that doesn't make me any better or worse. My degree is probably stuffed. Actually, it's stuffed in some cabinet at my parents' place that's 400 miles away because I never bothered to get it. After I got my first job, and then I went out on my own to do self-employment, it didn't really matter anymore for if I had a college degree or not, because doing business, you don't really need a degree. No one ever asks. The only time people actually ever ask about the degree is if you actually apply for a regular office job. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. Now, part of this might just be ego, because we all know that CH's ego is massively giant, and he might have wanted people to think that he was more educated than he actually was. And he's actually run Cardano on this peer review stuff. Now, obviously, if you do peer academic review, you have to have, you're supposed to have some academic credentials, which I don't really think you actually have to have. You can just say you believe in the process, because the peer review process does catch a lot of flaws. But I guess he wanted people to think that he had a degree, so he had some credibility on the peer review process, because Charles obviously himself doesn't really believe too much in academics, seeing that he didn't finish a degree. Now, he did actually take plenty of classes over a 6 or 8 year period, but he's only a part-time student. He went to 2 colleges and over an 8-year period or so, but he never attained the degree. In fact, the place he said he was doing a PhD program in that he dropped out of, essentially said they didn't actually have a graduate program and only had an undergraduate program. A reporter actually called him out in a book, and Charles actually had the audacity to say that the reporter was making up fiction. Now, in this digital age, how could you possibly think you could get away with that? It's not were you just depending on the reporter to back off and say, you're right, I just made up fiction? No, the reporter is obviously going to go check the sources. And it's easy to actually ask the university dean or just check up the university database to see that you don't actually have a degree. So the thing is, it wasn't bad that you actually didn't have a degree. If you just said, I'm a college dropout like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, that would have been absolutely fine. I don't think anyone would have cared. But the thing is that since you masqueraded about having a college degree for so long, saying that you actually dropped out of a PhD program that you were never actually in, because, to be in a PhD program, you generally have to have an undergraduate degree, that puts kind of a blemish on you and your project. And the thing is, there were already rumors that Charles Hoskinson is a rampant liar, and this really doesn't help that. Now, like I said, it doesn't really affect Cardano, because the whole criticism of Cardano being a ghost chain is no longer valid. They have $200-something million in TVL. There are transactions running on the blockchain, and there are plenty of people actually using the DeFi protocol. And there are other companies that have come out that weren't Cardano itself that said we're actually using Cardano or a private version of Cardano. So that fear is kind of abated, and I think that's why Cardano isn't really dropping. I think if this had come out several years ago, when Cardano didn't really have any projects, I think this would have been pretty devastating. Right now, I don't think it really matters. And the thing is, Cardano is somewhat is pretty decentralized. And Charles has been a little bit distancing himself from the main core of Cardano, and a lot of the AMAs, some of the AMAs actually had a bunch of developers actually come in. So Cardano is not really affected. I'm still going to hang on to it, but I am more willing to sell my Cardano next time it actually spikes. because the next time it actually spikes, I'm going to invest in something like Luna where it doesn't have this controversy. Because remember, Justin Sun got caught lying several times over the last bull run, and Tron did not do as well as a result. Now, Tron still came up to like 15, 16 cents from like less than a penny during the run, but still it did not perform as well as Cardano or some of the other cryptos. So because Cardano actually has a decent yield farm now, I can actually yield farm and do ISPOs. And basically those projects are going to relate to the starters of those projects on Cardano. But this does actually put some doubt in what Charles actually says. Now, the thing about June is once Cardano actually solves its scaling problem, I expect it to actually grow, and I expect it to pump up leading to June. If the market actually recovers around by the June area, and Cardano is pumping at that time, and it goes above $3 or $4, I will actually sell it. Otherwise, I'll just hang on. I don't think this will cause like Cardano to really go downhill, but it might not do as well because people have doubts about the founder of Cardano. And it really calls into question Charles Hoskinson's character, which already had a lot of bad rumors swirling around. Also, it tells me that the guy is actually not that smart, because how could you possibly challenge a reporter when you yourself know, unless you fooled yourself too, when you yourself actually know that you don't have a degree? These things are not very easy to check. So he was actually pretty dumb to actually call out the reporter because he knew that the reporter was actually right. If his ego is really that big, then you might want to get into a project where the founder's ego is not the size of the sun. So that's kind of what I actually have to say about it. I am probably looking to maybe sell my Cardano around June, maybe by the end of the year, whenever the market next recovers, and I can get a pretty good profit from it. I mean, I can get a pretty good profit from it right now. I bought in at like 4 cents, so I got 20x anyways. But I think I can get quite a bit more for Cardano. There's still a really strong community around it. And projects are still coming under Cardano. The DeFi protocol is still growing. So I'm not really too afraid of that, but I am more looking to offload ADA for something like Luna maybe in the future. So that's what I have to say on it. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.